Hi and welcome to ThePrint. I'm Karanjeet Kaur and I'm a writer and an editor. Let's talk today about Goa's hippest neighborhood bar, Grumps. Last week, Goa had Zilla Panchayat elections, which meant a few dry days. No alcohol can be served at restaurants and establishments in the state, and most bars race for empty rooms. But spirits were high at Grumps, a neighborhood bar and restaurant tucked into the backyard of a Goan house in Sangolda. By 7:30 p.m., the garden was packed. The long table under the chiku tree was lively. Mocktails and plates of beef croquettes were doing the rounds, and the regulars had settled in for an evening as if nothing had changed. A little over a year into operation, after opening in early 2024, Grumps has become one of Goa's most coveted dining destinations. Local residents, settlers, and tourists alike make their way to the bar despite its location at the end of a dark street. Their Asian-inspired menu and cocktails that take themselves seriously without being precious about it are worth the trek. Grumps is at least 20 minutes away from the Asagaon-Anjuna-Vagator tourist corridor, far from the coastal strip where Goa's buzziest openings stake their claim. Still, it has drawn glowing reviews and generated the kind of word-of-mouth buzz that no amount of money or influencer marketing can buy. It has also landed on all the right lists. Earlier this year, Eater put Goa on its Where to Eat Around the World in 2025 list. Grumps was one of the newer entrants on the lineup, alongside award-winning heavyweights such as Cavatina and the beloved Panjim Cafe, Larder and Folk. Other tastemakers have followed suit. It is pegged at number 15 on Condé Nast Traveler's Best Indian Restaurant list and was labelled by the magazine as Goa's most unlikely neighborhood institution. Everyone is a little shocked by Grumps' success, and that includes the bar's young owners, Agrini Satyarthi and Karthik Vasudev. The couple look faintly bewildered when they talk about how the bar has accomplished all this in a relatively short period, as if they're still waiting for the other shoe to drop. Satyarthi told me, "We have sat in our car and asked ourselves, what is it? What are people resonating with? Is it the food, the drinks, the vibe? I think it must be a combination of it all," she said, gesturing around the welcoming space. The setting is part of the charm. Grumps is built around a restored outhouse in the backyard of a Goan home, using the laterite stone walls to its advantage. There is as much warmth in the bar's decor as there is in the young, friendly staff. Satyarthi and Vasudev are on the floor every night, chatting with guests and ready with a recommendation if you need one, but without a fuss. The word I keep reaching for is unassuming, but food writer and Joanna Lobo described it best as a garden party at someone's impossibly well-curated home. Both Satyarthi and Vasudev cut their teeth at the extremely popular Bombay canteen. Like several other COVID migrants, the pandemic pushed them to reassess the kind of life they wanted, and they moved to Goa in 2020. Satyarthi recalled that they could come home for a swim, a completely new idea for people working in hospitality. The couple worked out their next move over a 5-month trip through Europe and Asia. In Spain, they noticed how naturally eating and drinking folded into each other. People had tapas with wine, and small plates were meant for lingering. They also discovered that the flavors they craved most were Asian. That led them to Thailand and Vietnam, which helped crystallize Grumps' future menu, centered on Asian flavors tweaked for the Indian palate. So you have garlic prawns, shrimp wafers with Indian masala, and salmon tartar in coconut curry base, all rendered through an Asian lens. It is a mix of what is familiar and relevant to Goa, made a little Asian. Satyarthi said, "A Goan should never feel disappointed eating the beef croquettes here, even if it feels a little different. There should never be any complicated things or words on the menu. We are just a casual place to come and eat and drink at. We are not giving you any lessons." Vasudev and Satyarthi use this understanding to adapt the menu with agility. For instance, a messy steak sandwich inspired by Lisbon became beef croquettes. Oily lamb spring rolls turned into kebabs. The bar menu was adjusted to Goa's outdoor heat, with refreshing drinks and balanced martinis that work even when nothing stays properly cold. The menu is deliberately tight. Vasudev said, "We don't ever want to be the sort of place that puts 40 dishes on the menu. It leads to too much wastage and the kitchen gets overwhelmed. We will do specials here and there, but this is a way for us to stay true to ourselves. The striking thing about Grumps' success is how organic it feels. This was a conscious departure from everything Satyati had learned at Bombay Canteen, where she handled part of the marketing. She told me, I realized no matter what I'd picked up about email marketing or using your database, in Goa, nothing worked. So the couple bet on building something strong enough for Goa's residents and let them do the talking. It worked. I heard about the bar through friends, and that's how everyone seems to have discovered it. When Grumps opened, the split was 80-20 residents to tourists. It's closer to 50-50 now, but the core remains fiercely local. Last Christmas, 80% of their guests were regulars. Vasudev said, "We are very fortunate that we've been able to get that strong base of supporters and regulars. This might be common in cities, but it becomes very hard in a place like Goa. It really motivates us to do different things and gives people a reason to keep coming back. This loyalty sustains them through Goa's unpredictable rhythms. There are nights with 15 people and nights with 90, and you can never quite predict which will be which. This model also works because of a fundamental shift in North Goa's demography. The wave of pandemic migrants, which is young professionals, entrepreneurs, and remote workers, has created density in neighborhoods that were once too residential to support this kind of establishment. Grumps might be a neighborhood bar insofar as it is in the neighborhood, but its cost for two at 2,000 rupees isn't exactly cheap. However, thanks to the disposable income of the settler economy, there is a stable customer base willing to return to places they trust. Grumps has tapped into a market of longing for consistent establishments that are staples of urban life. This understanding of themselves as part of an ecosystem has also shaped the collaborations they pursue. A joint event with Larder and Folk, a takeover at O Pedro in Mumbai, a taco stand with Otra, each drawing in regulars. Lobo has a theory that unites Goa's best restaurants: cater to the local population and stay consistent. She said, "I'm 90% sure the food at Grumps will be the same even if I go back after months. You feel like you're at an upscale restaurant version of a mom and pop store, with people who genuinely care about you and your experience." This is what Grumps has accomplished. A place that feels simultaneously unpretentious and finessed. Even the name and its frowning, smiling logo embrace levity. "We are serious about the product," Vasudev said, "but we don't want to take ourselves too seriously. The seriousness is in the daily work of showing up and building for the people who live here. The tourists will find you anyway."